Maybe you want to tell us, first of all, about the First Nation Inuit Métis Identification Program, what that is all about.
Well, it's working with all the schools in our school board, and it's getting that First Nation Métis Inuit perspective into the schools, whether it's kindergarten classrooms right up to grade 12 classrooms, just making sure that all students get to that perspective of our history, our language, our traditions, our culture.
So obviously it's very important for the students themselves to be identified. It doesn't seem to be that great of a number at this time, though.
Yeah, our numbers actually are a little bit low compared to the census, but sometimes the census is not always accurate either. There always is, whether it's our data, any board's data across the province, across Canada, it's not always an accurate number because families do choose not to self-identify for a variety of reasons.
And what would those reasons be?
A lot of it is trust. As Native people, we've been studied and studied and studied and studied. And when we're asked to self-identify, the big question is, what are you going to do with the data when I self-identify? So a lot of it is trust because we have been studied for quite a while. And sometimes the stats that are put out are not the greatest, so there's always that fear. There's always that trust factor that comes into play.
Given your presentation to trustees, it seems like the strategy is successful. It is working in a number of ways.
Yeah, we're a small board, so we have half our schools here in the city. So as a person who also teaches at the high school, but also works with the rest of our schools, it's easy to get out into the schools here in the city. And for our district schools, they always seem to be connected to a First Nations. And when you're connected to a First Nations, that reciprocal relationship seems to happen because they have no other choice but to make things happen for the students who are living on reserve.
Specifically, the graduation rate is fairly high. It's a fairly high rate, and also there seems to be a lot of presentations, a lot of communication with presenters coming in and parents being invited and so forth.
Yeah, and that's key. Sometimes traditionally our history books did not tell the right story, did not tell a story from the Native Métis Inuit perspective. But when you have people coming in who are from the Native communities, from the Métis communities, from the Inuit communities, our stories are told right from the people that lived those stories. And when you have that happen, it really empowers the kids, and it also gives that knowledge to the non-Native students, to say, these people did have their own system of government. They did have their own way of life, prior to a European invasion.
You mentioned a few examples of the storytelling. Well, maybe give us one of the better examples of someone who has lived the life and it's resonated with the people who listen to him or her.
Mm-hmm. Well, frequently we'll get, because Indian residential schools just in the past 20 years has come really to the forefront, and with Algoma University being an Indian residential school, there's quite a few members here in our community that are residential school, who attend residential schools. And when you have those people come into the classroom and talk about their story, those are real life stories, and it has an impact on our students, whether you're Native or non-Native. It has an impact to really think about our history and Canada's role in what it did to a group of people. And when you hear about the stories, I'll give you an example. I have two sisters that came into a classroom, and they went to residential school in Chapelot, and then they were moved here to Shingwauk. It wasn't until their second year at Shingwauk that they saw their brother in the playground. They didn't know that their own brother was at the same school. So when you hear those stories, and these women are 60 years old, it's not that they're, hundreds. This didn't happen hundreds and hundreds of years ago. This happened, earlier in the 1900s and late 1800s.
The younger generation seems to be benefiting from the storytelling. In fact, you brought up the example of the residential schools and how kids wore orange to understand the effect that had.
Yeah, and certainly when you're sharing about Indian residential schools to 3, 4, 5 year olds, the story is different when you're talking to kids in high school. So, but the bottom line is the message is coming. The message is getting to these young kids, and when the message comes to the students that are 3, 4, and 5 year olds, the message gets to home. And so it makes the parents kind of think about what they're doing at school and what they're studying at school.
So, what is the next step from here? You've got the partnerships with parents and also community groups, as you were talking about, various groups who have come in and visited the schools and talked to students. What are there any plans for the near future? Or
It's just the awareness piece is so key. It's just awareness, awareness, awareness. Until and it's like a shift in society. Until everybody in society can say, I understand what residential schools are, then we can move on to beyond the awareness. But the awareness is key, whether it's Indian residential schools, whether it's treaties, whether it's the Indian Act. The awareness piece is so key, and I continue to bring that awareness wherever I go, wherever I can, kind of thing.
So, are there any different methods you hope to bring that awareness through, like social media or just marketing or just other methods like that?
Yeah, when we make our rounds to the schools, like I mentioned that we reached every city school, but in some schools only the grade sixes came, only the grade twos came. So this time when we make our rounds, the word gets out. Wow, you got to see that. You got to hear that story about the creation story. So maybe this time they'll bring more grades and more of the students involved. So that's where that awareness. Certainly some of them are whole school and some are a few grades. But once the word gets out that you got to hear this, you got to hear those stories. Again, it's just that awareness to everybody and anybody.